All right, guys, welcome back to Blackacre Ranch. Little calf update. Doing great. Spent a couple days here in pen A. We have since moved them to pen B. Next will be pen C. We're gonna shift them over. However, their moms are right on the other side of the barbed wire fence and they're coming over. We're trying to bait them in. In other words, we're using cubes. We went back to cube bags. We're looking for extra protein actually going on right now as opposed to the energy feed. So we've now switched over to the cube bags and we're feeding it to them over here. Just the other day when we moved them to B, we put this fence here. This is the portable panel fence. Gosh, guys, it's like in the 40s right now. Oh, I know, if you're up in Wyoming or Montana, no sympathy, but we've got the gate here so that way it allows this grass to regrow and without having to have the calves on it, and we can stick with just these troughs. So we're giving them 100 pounds a cube. Hopefully that lures them in. When that does happen, we can just do a pasture rotation, shut this gate, and everything will go smooth. So stick with us as we kind of get this going on, from adults being transferred over, calves transferred over, and then we've got the house build starting. Okay guys, well hey, I forgot to actually film all of that. So we did count, we have moved all the animals over. There's 21 total and they're eating. So we've been giving them the cube bags like I was telling you. It's more of a protein supplement as to opposed to an energy supplement. Now that they're done, I guess, lactating, they're drying up, I'm not so worried about giving them that other stuff. So this will help them through winter. We'll keep giving them some sort of a ration through winter. So if you guys are new to the channel, we're gonna be starting to build our house pretty quick here. And right now, this morning, cold morning, it's windy. The wind is a killer part of it. I don't know if this is working, but we're building our house right there. We've done all the demo, and that's happening right after this. I just want to make sure that somebody is aware that they actually have cubes over here. And here, come on, here she comes, come on. And then once this happens, we will start framing the house. All right. They're getting the idea. Kisses. Aw, kisses. How are you? You're just tiny. It's over there. It's over there. Just gotta go over there. All right, just over there. I don't have it. It's over there in the trough. She knows where it's at. Everyone else is gonna figure it out, but until then, those two are gonna get the full share of all that stuff. We're gonna leave it here with these buffalo. We're gonna have to make sure that the calves are moved over. It looks like we gotta just close the gate there, ship them over to pen B. Pen B is separate from pen 5. It's not just sharing a common boundary, so I don't mind doing that all right now. We're gonna close some of those gates, make sure they have the fresh grass in pen C, drop a couple bales, that kind of normal stuff. So yep. Bam! Jeez. I tend not to think so. See, these guys are just not happy. They don't know that there's a certain order to life here. They're learning. They've never been to pen C. All right, guys. There you go. See, they just bolt. They run. Ah, the gate.
Gate flipped.
All right, well, this means we're gonna leave them alone. So we'll let them figure it out in time. We'll check back with them later on today. In the meantime, let's go over and get this house thing started. Today's the day we start this house build, right? No guarantees how long this is gonna take. We're not contractors. If you're looking for a how-to of building your house, we are not it. Let's go over some details, what we're gonna do, and start the layout and all the other stages getting prepped. We've got all the lumber down here behind us. This is just for the framing portion. Our goal is just to get everything put up. And this week, our main task is just to try and get everything framed, exterior walls and interior if possible. We have ourselves a bunch of pressure treated. We're gonna be doing this out of 2x6 lumber, just for installative purposes. Anyway, we have a lot of pressure treated, you may notice, and you're like, geez, Jeff, here's some of this. This is for the interior walls. This is 1 4 5/8. It's going to be 9-foot walls. And then here's a bunch of other things for like double top plates, other miscellaneous stuff, and so forth. So the reason why we have so much pressure treated wood is because they didn't have non-pressure treated wood in the sizes we were looking for, and we're improvising. And it was like 10 cents more expensive just to do the pressure treated, so we're gonna do that for the studs. Really, we're just going through selection purposes what they had, and that's all they got. All right, so on this slab here, if you're not familiar with what's going on, we have an existing house. Well, here, let me show you over here first. So this was an existing barn-dominium we torn down, and you can see the line of the slab right there, and everything that way was existing barn-dominium. It had a bathroom, a bedroom, and a bedroom. And then this was like a kitchen area, and this is like a laundry room right there with the hookups. And this was another bedroom. Call it bedroom, we're gonna call it, that's exactly what we're gonna say it is. Our goal here was to reuse as much as we could and make somewhat of a smart layout, so that's what we're gonna do. You'll see that there's lines already pretty much here in a lot of spots. We're gonna try and follow those lines. The bedrooms are a decent size. That was a Jack and Jill. We're gonna try and keep that and try and reuse as much as possible. All right. Our concrete does have a tin ledge right along the side, all the way around it. So we're gonna build up to that point. Now, one of the disadvantages of having that barn-dominium, you can see that there's like a foot about distance here when we had the metal supports. So this little blue spot, don't ask me why it's blue. The blue was because it's blue. And I don't know, it was just blue. But it gives us a good indication of how much room we're gonna be able to save. Because we're probably gonna come over to right about here. So we may actually save ourselves 5 inches on all edges by not having the metal. Besides, the metal was corroded, so good reason. What we did was, to make more room, we expanded over and laid out a second slab. We did this last winter. That is, this slab is about 22 by 30. This is 40 by 30 over this direction. And because we had our garage that was sitting over here that you just saw a couple of episodes ago where we tore it down, we had to make a step, and this is approximately 18 inches. We bumped it down. This will probably be mud room, this will be family room, and I'm standing in probably what's going to be an office. So anyway, we then come over here to the garage. It's like 25 or 24 feet by 40. We're gonna put 3 bays over here and frame that all out as well. This will be framed in 2 by 4. It's not gonna be insulated. We're gonna keep it carport for now. And I think that's just the general rundown, guys. I'm not sure what else you want to say about that. So the task at hand is, our goal is to get the walls up, the exterior walls, and then start working also on the interior walls. We're going to start with some layout this morning. As I mentioned, the studs are not 1 4 5/8 on the exterior. They did not have 2 by 6s in the pre-cut. We would have had to have ordered them, but they're like 2 weeks out, and that wasn't going to happen. So we're gonna go over to the well house. We're gonna take some of these, go to the well house. We're gonna make a jig, make sure that that's all set up 1 4 5/8, and just rip through them, bam, 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 bam. And get those all prepped while I'm laying out here. So let's go get that jig set up. I'm gonna leave a couple people there to do that while I come back here and start laying things out. So I will tell you, I know generally what's gonna go on the floor plan, but I do not have a blueprint in front of me. So this is not gonna go super fast. We're gonna be marking some stuff out and figuring it out as we're going, like the location of windows, the location of doors, things of that nature. I know where they're gonna go, but I don't know the exact, like 3.5 inches, or is it 3 3/4? I don't know. I'll figure that when I get to that point. So layout, I'm not going to show you every detail about what's going on here. We'll kind of keep you apprised of some of the details as we're going up, you know, putting walls up, framing, and so forth. But a lot of the minutia, like I said, I'm not here to show you how to build a house. Plenty of people online will do that. I think it's just enjoyable to enjoy the journey and see the progress that we've made. I am not a construction worker, but I think most anybody who has some common sense and a little bit of determination can probably do this too. So it just takes us a lot longer than professionals, and we'll probably make a little bit of mistakes along the way. So enough yapping, let's get this wood going and get the studs starting to be created at 1 4 5/8. All right, so we gotta get the studs going, right? And the stud problem is that we have all these boards that are 10 foot long, 10 feet 2 inches. We do have a 1 4 5/8 white stud and 2x4. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just make a jig and screw it down right down to here. We have ourselves our saw, chop saw, whatever you wanna call it, compound miter saw. And we're gonna use this as the template actually for everything. So since I know this is 1 4 5/8, and yes, I did measure it, we're gonna put this right where it needs to be, flush up against the blade, right over here. And we're gonna come on this side, and I wanna make sure that when they come over and they put these things, because I'm not doing it, we're gonna put a flush board right on the back side. This jig should work. You should be able to take any piece of board, put it up, right on over, and have it be just fine. So I think this is going to be working just great. We're going to get some and test it out and make sure we double check the measurement after each one for the first few and make sure this works. Bug, my little helper, and her little bunny ear hat. She's going to be joining me. We got ourselves little pouches. She's happy about her little pouch. Bug, show my butt. I got myself my little pouch too. All right, so we're all set up. We're decked out like we know what we're doing. We kind of do. It's not that hard, guys. All right, so a problem I've come into before is that the wood, I'm gonna have base plates and top plates and I need them to be exact. And these guys are not really exact. So I'm gonna have a base plate, I'm gonna lay it on the ground, but I wanna make sure that these are gonna be exactly the same for all of them. And so I'm just gonna cut these down to 10 feet. That's what I've got estimated. So we're gonna go ahead and start ripping these down 2 at a time to make sure that the bottom and top plates are gonna be equally in length. All right, so then I will use them as a whole and start laying them out over here. I have had it where the base plate ends up being 1/8 or 3/8 shorter than the top plate or vice versa, and it just makes it difficult. So I'm just gonna cut these all to be making sure they're exact. What do you?
Okay. Pretty flush. Maybe a little wedge.
Yeah. Okay. Now we mark the board. All right, so I've got a number of boards that are sitting here already, and what we're gonna do next is we're gonna mark off a distance and try and lay out exactly what's gonna be where. In other words, what I'm getting at is we're gonna have a 2x6 right along the side over here, but before this ledge, I wanna have enough room that I can put a 7/16 inch sheathing. So I'm gonna come back 7/16 and then the 5.5. We're gonna make a mark. So that's gonna be actually 15/16. We're gonna make a mark, a line. We're gonna track line all this all the way around the thing. On these boards that I've been doing, I've been marking them and labeling them. So this is S1 bottom plate, S1 top. That means that's the top and bottom plates. And I'm actually marking my walls so we'll know S1, S2, S3, that should be 30 feet over there. And then we'll have W1 run this way. E for east, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way back down there. And that'll be N for north. And then we'll worry about all that. But same kind of labeling convention. So theoretically what we can do is we can mark this all out, take all these boards with their corresponding ones all the way back over to the shed or somewhere else and build the frame and build all the walls. We'll build them somewhere. So let's get this all blown off and start marking with our chalk so that way we have a layout line we can reference and we'll be good. Having your daughter with you with the bunny ear helmet hat, it doesn't quite fit. So we had to use a little clamp over there, which is all cool and all. It's cute. So we're gonna get this all blown off with my little helper. I'm not as flexible as I'd say once was, but I've just never been flexible. Failed every flexibility test, I swear. Well, before we chalk line this, we thought we'd come over and give some progress, and it's lunchtime and we want to eat. You guys are on how many boards left?
3 left.
3 left, and you guys are almost done, huh? We're messing up their groove, little bug. I'm in their way. Mari, you move that over by yourself, huh? And then they come over and get these? I think I should just stay out of the way, guys. So while Bug and I have been working, they've been doing this. This is 64 boards worth, and we've probably been an hour, maybe? Yeah. So a little over a minute per board, let's just say, a little over an hour. All right, there's 64. All right, so a little over an hour, a minute per board almost, a little bit longer. Pretty cool. All right, let's get some lunch.
Snapping. No?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've been working, got the other kids. Lunch was done, so we started laying out all these boards. And what we did was we just put the bottom plate that we cut. We had cut the bottom and top plates at the same time, and they're marked. So this guy goes to that, this guy goes to that, this guy goes to that, and so forth. So we've lined them out. Now it's time to measure, and I'm going to start at one corner and measure everything off that one corner. It'll probably be this guy. I tend to think that, but I call this one number 1, number 2, number 3. So it depends on how OCD I want to get about it. Once they mark all these things out, I'm going to figure out where all the windows go and where all the doors. So this is back to where my blueprint is in my head. This spot right here is going to have a wall that was sitting right here. So I'll put a mark here, mark out where I'm going to put that based on a measurement. And then from there, I'll figure out the windows and so forth. So I'm going to do layout across the entire thing, marking windows, doors, that kind of stuff. And it's going to take a little while, I'll be honest with you, because I got to mark out where the kitchen is going to be, how much space, all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be a little bit. This is just an example at the corner. We had one little piece over here, and then we're going to round it and come back and go all the way over. We're going to start laying out. Aw, I think they're a little cold. All right, I think layout is done on this top section for the most part. We've got a lot of things going. We have Pumpkin over here transferring all the marks over. So she's got bottom plate, top plate. And we started at this corner and we went 16 on center and we put a bunch of stuff. We've marked things like all these studs. Like, I don't know if I'm on the screen, but anyway, there. But then we had double because we're gonna have a wall right about where my foot is. So we're trying to mark out things like that. Other thing on the corner here, we've marked out here, oops, my leg's in the way. You can see the stud right here. What I might do is I think I'm gonna change it to, you can see this mark here. I'm gonna put a flat 2x4 or 2x6 here instead of this guy. so that way I can get access and insulate. Otherwise that leaves a dead cavity. Anyways, some things like that. We got windows marked, doors. We're just kind of wrapping up this, so we've got all the top side done. Now we're gonna work on the bottom side. And this grass and dirt and everything over here has got to be graded down a little bit better. Charlotte's over there getting the tractor. We're gonna get this all wrapped up on there and then start laying out all of this other stuff. And right now we are at a distance of 29 feet, 11 inches, both there and here, and we're gonna hopefully have that corresponding measurement down here. So everything seems to be looking pretty good, but we're just gonna keep laying out some stuff and then clear out some of this debris, especially this, which is right on the top of over here. Okay, go. She's gonna turn around real quick and see if we can get this dirt. Okay. Okay. Yeah. There. All right, she's gonna get out now. We can manage the rest of this. That helps out a lot, guys. Helps out an awful lot. Challenge ingenuity, guys. All right, and you got that tied to your bike, Bug? Well, it's kind of looped around the seat under there, huh? Yeah. All right, let's see if you can... You got to muster that, girlfriend.
It moved.
Your legs are going to be burning on you. I don't think this is going to work, do you, Bug? It's probably because of the hat, the bunny hat. While Mari does that one, we are into the garage now. We have finished the the step area. We finished that. We've now lined all these things up here. I know we're gonna have 2 full ones here. I can just go ahead and line those things up. I'm not worried about interior sheetrock. I'm just worried about exterior spacing for metal and sheathing potentially. So once she gets done with those 2, line up, and then we measure. We cut that, and then I'll just use it here at the bottom to go ahead and do all the rest of the measurements. But then all we have is the front opening here. This stuff is actually gonna be kind of tricky up here because we're gonna have 3 10-foot sections that are open for carport. It's 39 feet, 8 3/4 wide. It's not actually 40. So we're gonna give ourselves 3 on the edges, and then we'll shimmy that in the middle some. So we gotta figure out how we're gonna exactly do that and map that out. I might need to get some more wood. But otherwise, we are pretty much done plating or laying out, and it's just gonna be mass framing here on out. So one of the things that my wife did is all of these pipes that came out of the ground, the water pipes, she cut them all off. We took an extra bag of concrete, kind of like this guy, and we had the kids, Clark and Lorna, little Bug and Dog, and their job was to go by all of these and fill them up with concrete. You can see Clark's kind of doing it right here. That's just a hole to be a hole, dog. I have no idea why that's even there. There wasn't even water in that one. So the 2 reasons we're doing this is the water is sitting on this side of the house on the concrete. So the main inlet is on this side. This is where the water meter is. So for one, for me to have to use the existing system, I've got a trench underneath this slab. I'm not looking forward to that. The second reason that I think we just decided to cut it off was because some of the water pipes in the ground were actually on this side of the base plates, making it very, very difficult to get all of that done and still put sheetrock on, right guys? So The third reason is some of these pipes here at the ground were just mangled, right? You can see like this guy's like this guy's like weird, this guy's okay, this guy's a little bit weird. Burrs, man, sucks. So with every one of them being like that, we would have to have tripped out and tried to get to a spot where they were good that we could have soldered extensions on, okay? So that just would have been a nightmare to have to deal with. And I don't know, when we hook up the main line to where it came in, did it just go straight to here and then pop up one and then distribute everywhere? Or like there was a water faucet over there and there was a water faucet over here. So I don't know where it was gonna connect or not. And so if I turned the water on, how many of those would I have to worry about? So it just didn't seem to make sense to rely on all those things. So to make it clean, maybe simple, maybe a little harder aesthetically, we're just gonna come from here where the water sits right here and the electric, and we're just gonna pop it in and run brand new pipe through PEX and get the electric and all that other stuff without having to worry about it. Hopefully the concrete works, right? And it just seals that sucker up. We don't have to worry about it. It'll dry out over the next day or so and all's good. So we'll see. But that's the other thing that's been going on while we've been doing all this plating. Keeping all the kids busy, everybody's chipping in. Oh, you got the other one? I'm not too worried about its depth over here. It will be flush. I'm just worried about its distance. Now let's get a measurement. Suck on that one. It really ended right there, didn't it? I'm just gonna put an extra stud right there. And I just go, okay. All right, guys, we're gonna leave this here. We're gonna wrap up this video. This is just the layout portion. I was hoping to get done a lot more than this in the one video, but you know, gosh, this just takes a while, right? Next up is just gonna be all the framing of walls, and that you would think would go quick, but it's just not, right? Once we get all that done, that's phase 2. Then we're gonna worry about trusses, roofing, sheathing, all that other kind of stuff. So keep with us as we keep doing this. So anyway, like and subscribe, guys. We'll talk to you later. Bye.